Hi from Scrappy Mania, and today I'm going to show you how to create these little embellishments with just a you just need a simple slip stitch to create these hearts, some cardboard, a hole punch, and preferably you want to use these hole punch instead of the handheld one because it doesn't really go all the way in. You can use the Big Bite by We Are Memory hole punch, and that will go all the way in, but other than that you really need to have the freestanding ones that are like these. And I got these at a hardware store, so you can go to a hardware store and get a lot of sizes, and I'll tell you in a minute why you need the different sizes. And you're going to need some yarn. And depending on the type of yarn, like for this butterfly, which was smaller, so this butterfly was a smaller little embellishment, which I used my Cricut to cut out. I use a thinner thread, and for the thinner thread, you need to use, let me see where I put my crochet needles. You will need to use a thinner crochet needle. And actually I didn't use this one, I had a thinner one, this one. So for that one, I really didn't need a punch as big. I used actually a smaller punch, this punch, to create my holes. And see, you got to make sure it goes through the hole. So you have to test your crochet needle with the hole and see how it will go through it. So that's how you really need to make the hole to accommodate the needle, or the needle and the yarn. So if you're using a larger yarn like this one, then you're going to need a larger crochet needle, and your holes are going to have to be bigger in order to fit through it. And see how it fits through that hole. So you really want to kind of make sure that you use the appropriate hole punch for the crochet needle that you're using. I'm going to teach you how to create this heart. So let me move things aside. So the first thing we are going to do is find some heavy duty cardstock or heavy duty cardboard. So I prefer cardboard. This will, because you're going to be manipulating the paper as you go in and out with your stitch. So if it's too flimsy, it's just going to break apart, and it's not going to maintain its form. So you really need something that is heavy duty. Now these are the boxes that you get from the stores, these shirt boxes, and this is what I'm using for my shape. And then I'm going to use a Fisker shape punch, but if you have a Cricut, you can go ahead and cut it out of the Cricut. These were cut with the Cricut. So whatever you have, you just need to cut a shape. So I'm going to be using this shape, and this is the 3-inch heart. So I'm going to cut it out. Let's see. If you have a large handheld punch, that will also work. Whatever your heart you have. And see, it's not cutting all the way perfect, but that's okay. We just need a rough shape, because we're going to cover all this with our crochet. Okay, so now I got my shape. So the next thing I need to do is to create those holes. So you're going to take your punch, and you're just going to go around and create your holes, and you're going to go around the shape once, and then you're going to go the inner side of the shape, and keep going until you get to the center. And then you're going to make sure you leave enough space in between, so that way it can support the tension when you go from one slip knot to the next. You want to make sure that this can support the tension. and not break on you. So I'm gonna go ahead and make my holes, and I shall be back. Okay, so I went ahead and did all my holes, as you can see here, and as when you start crocheting, some of the holes that didn't get all the way through will go through. The next thing I want to do is I want to color this with an ink that it will be similar to the thread I'm using, because as you can see here, you can still see the white cardboard underneath it, and I don't really want that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my ink, and I have Positively Pink by Stampin' Up. And let me go ahead and get a foam applicator. Got my foam applicator, and I'm going to go ahead and make sure I really darken the flower. And I might have to heat emboss this embellishment because of the slick surface of my cardstock. But I'll see if I need to do that or not. I can always use the other side, the reverse side, and make sure that I color that. Or I can also use gesso. If you want, you can probably use gesso and then color the gesso on your embellishment, and then make sure it has a good coverage. So I'm going to get my heat gun. I'm going to heat set this, and then I'll be back and we'll start stitching from then. Okay, so I put a little bit of color, not too much. And now let's go ahead and start in crocheting our shape. So we're going to create a slip knot. So you're going to make a loop, then you're going to bring the thread or your yarn over the loop and then pull, and that becomes your slip knot. You're going to put the slip knot on your crochet needle. You're going to bring your shape, put it behind, put your slip knot behind your shape, come over your shape, go inside one of the holes. It doesn't matter where you start. Oops, let's do this again. Go in, go over your shape, grab some yarn, grab some yarn from the back and pull, and there's one slip knot. Do the same thing, go in the next hole, grab some yarn from the back, pull it up, grab some more yarn from the back, and go through the two loops. Go in the next hole, grab some yarn from the back, grab some more from the back, and there's your second. So we've done 3 chain. So you're just making a chain or a slip knot, whatever you call this. I'm not really a crocheter, so I just know how to make simple crocheting. Slip knots and single knots, I can do those. So I'm going to go ahead and speed up the video as I go around, and we'll be back. So you keep doing that same technique throughout the outside of the shape, the edge of your shape. And then you do a slip knot to fill in the inside of the shape. So I'm going to demonstrate that next. So you're going to take, once you're done outlining the edge of your shape with some double crochet knots, I think that's how it's called. Now we're going to do the single slip knot. So you're going to go in the hole, pick up some yarn, and then through the loop. In the hole, pick up some yarn, and then go through the loop. Go in the hole, pick up some yarn, and then go through the loop. So that's how you're going to do for the inside of the shape. And as you can see there, it's creating a chain. So what you're doing is just you're creating a simple chain. the YouTube has a lot of good videos on how to do this. I kept going out of frame, so maybe, you know, you're not being able to see it that well. So that's why I kind of really slowed down the video here, because I'm showing you, you go through the hole, pick up some yarn, and then through the knot. Through the hole, pick up some yarn, and then through the knot. And you keep doing that until you fill the whole shape with your yarn. And it does help. See how the background, when I did this same technique with my first heart, and where I didn't kind of color the shape, you were able to see the white cardstock or the white cardboard through the crochet. But if you ink your shape prior to crocheting, then it blends into it and you don't really see that there's some gaps. So you keep doing these simple slip chains throughout your shape, and it really doesn't matter which hole you go next. Just keep filling your shape up as you crochet around the, you know, whatever shape you're using. And sometimes you might have to go a hole above or below just to fill in a gap. But everything kind of looks good at the end. So here I'm at the end, so I'm going to pull. When I cut the thread, you just pull it back through one of the holes, and then you tie a knot in the back of your shape, because nobody's going to see that. That's going to be on your layout. And there, you're done. So there you have it. So there's your heart, and since I colored it before I stitched it, you don't really see the card stock behind it as this one. See how you can really see it there? This one, you really don't see it. So stay tuned to my next video where I'm going to bring all this together, all my techniques. I'm going to put them together to create a layout. So thank you for watching. Bye now.